All right, so now we're going to look at surface area of a wall. Now, just to review, if we're talking about, let's say, area of a square or a rectangle, okay? Let's say, for example, we have this rectangle right here, and we're just going to pretend it's a wall, okay? And what we have is, we have a 16-foot is the height, and across, we'll say, is 23 feet. Now, if I want to find the surface area of this entire wall, we're going to follow the same formula we did for area of a square or rectangle. Remember that area is going to equal length times width. Okay? Or in this situation, it would be more like height versus length. But same idea, okay? The length and the width of the square. You want the two opposite sides of the rectangle. Now, if we did this simple equation, all right, we would say, all right, it's 23 times 16, all right? Well, here's what we do. I multiply these together, all right? I do 6 times 3 is 18. I carry my 1. I do 2 times 6 is 12, plus my 1 is 13. I put my, what I like to call my magic 0 down here. I do 1 times 3. Actually, no, I'll change my color here. I do 1 times 3 is 3, and then I do 1 times 2 is 2, and then I add these together to get my area. All right, I have an 8, a 6, and a 3. Now, this is all well and good if your wall doesn't have anything, but you realize that most walls are going to have something. It might have a door, it might have a window, all right? So what we're going to do is this. We're going to draw in a door here. And what happens is we're going to be painting. If we were painting this, we wouldn't paint the door. Okay, we would go around the door. So we have to find out what the surface area of this area is. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You could try to break it up, all right? But the easiest way is this. Let's say we should have the measurement of our door. Let's say our door is a 5 foot across there, and we'll say it's about 10 foot tall. Now, bear with me. Some of my drawings aren't exactly to scale, but again, I'm teaching you the strategy to solve this. So here what we have is, we have that our door, again, is going to be a 10 by 5. So that's going to be 5 times 10, okay? And that's going to equal 50. Now, to find our surface area of the inside of this, all we're doing is taking out the door. So that means we're going to take this area away. So we're taking our 368, and you know what, let me put my square feet, right, just to make sure I keep all my labels correct. And we have 50 square feet to our door. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to subtract these. I'm going to get rid of it. All right? So in this situation, I would do 8, 1. My answer would be 318 square feet. All right? That will be my surface area of all of this minus the door. Okay? Let's do another example. Okay, let's say we have another wall here. Okay? And I'm going to say this is a 25 foot by 14 foot, and there's going to be a door here, all right, and my door is going to be a 4 foot by 10 foot, and then we're going to have is a window, oh man, and this is going to be a 3 by 3. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to find our area of the entire rectangle first. Okay, so remember, we have 25 times 14 to find our area. So I wrote up here 25 times 14. Now, if I'm doing this math, I would do 5 times 4 is 20. I carry my 2. I got 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Right? I have my magic 0, is what I like to call it. I do 1 times 5 is 5. I do 1 times 2 is 2. And then I'm going to add these together, and that's going to get me 350 square feet. Now, a quick little tip. When you're doing something like 25 times 14, all right, 25 is an easy number to think about when you're talking about multiples, so you just think about quarters, all right? So let's say, for example, we had 25, and 14 is the same as saying, 14 is the same as saying 10 plus 4. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do 25 times 10. Which is easy, right? Anytime I do a number times 10, I just add a 0 at the back of that number. So that would be 250. And then I do 25 times 4. And then I'm going to add those answers together. So 25 times 4, 4 quarters gets you $1. And you add them up. All right, so that's a quick little tip for multiplying things like 25 or rounded numbers. If you have something like 16, you could think it as like 10 plus 6 times whatever you're timing it by 10, then times it by 6, add them together, okay? Now, back to this problem. So we found our surface area of the entire wall, and now we have to find the surface area of our window, and we need to find the surface area of our door, and we need to subtract that from our total surface area. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do our window, which is a 3 by 3, okay? A 3 by 3. So it will be 3 times 3 equals 9, right? 9 square feet. And then the next thing I have up here is I have my door, which is a 10 by 4. So 10 times 4 would get me 40. And when I add these together, it gets me 49. So that's the surface area of both the door and my window, okay? Now remember, we're going to take this number and we're going to subtract it from the area of our actual wall. So I take minus 49 square feet, and I'm going to subtract these, okay? 50 minus 49 would get me 1, and then I have my 301. So it will be 301 square feet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a couple examples, and then I'm going to have you try some, okay? All right, so here are my examples. Number 1, I have a 30 by 16 room, and I have a door that's a 4 foot by 8 foot. All right? Example number 2 is going to be a 22 by 15, and my windows are both 3 feet by 3 feet. And then my final one is my room is a 32 by 18 feet, and then I have like a double door closet that would open up, which is an 8 foot across this way by 8 foot. Again, I know they're not drawn exactly to scale, but just bear with me for this. These are just examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, and I'm going to give you some time. You can pause the video, and you can try these out, and when you're done, you can just resume. All right? Good luck. All right, so I'm back. So let's go over some of these answers and see how you did. All right? So let's start with number 1. We have a 16 by 30 foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and again, I'm going to do that little trick that I taught you, right? If I had 16 is the same as saying 10 plus 6, right? So 30 times 10, we know that we would do 3 times 1, which was a 3, and we add these 2 zeros at the end, which is 300, and then we would do 30 times 6. Again, you can don't worry about the 0, bring that in at the end, and then 3 times 8 is 18. So you do 300 plus 180, and that's going to get you 480. Again, that's the area of all of this, right? But we've got to take out that door. So for our door, we have a 4 by 8, all right? 8 times 4 is going to get me 32, and I'm going to subtract 32 from 480. I'm running out of room here, so I'm actually going to move it over here. So 480 minus 32. My bottom number is bigger, so I'm going to have to borrow. It's going to become a 7. That's going to be 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 3 is 4. And then I have 4 minus nothing, 448 square feet. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to erase some of this so I have some more room for my other problems. All right, so let's take a look at our second example now. So remember, what we have to do is we have to find the area of the entire wall first. To do that, we would do 22 times 15. Okay? So I'm going to write that up here. 22 times 15. And I'm going to take 2 times 5 is 10, carry my 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And then I add in my magic 0, I like to call it. I do my 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. When I add these together, I get 330 square feet. All right? Now what we have to do is we have to get rid of these windows, right, out of our square footage. So they're 3 by 3s. So 3 times 3 is going to get me 9, and another 3 times 3 is going to get me 9. I add those together, I get 18 square feet, right? So the last thing I have to do is I have to subtract my windows, which was 18 square feet, from my wall, which was 330 square feet. So I'm going to minus 18 here, square feet. And I have to do bottom number bigger, so I'm going to borrow. This is going to be a 2, 1, 3. So it was 312 square feet. Okay? Our last example up here was a 32 by 18. So I'm going to do 32 times 18. I do 2 times 8 is 16, carry my 1. I do 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. I do my magic 0. I do 1 times 2, and I do 1 times 3. And I add these together, and I get 576 square feet. Now remember, I have to subtract my closet here. 8 times 8 gets me 64. So I'm going to subtract 64 square feet over here. All right, and I have 6 minus 4 is 2, 7 minus 6 is 1, and 5 minus nothing is 512 square feet. And that's it. That's finding surface area of a wall.